Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you walked alone? I mean, really walked alone. Not just a casual stroll, but a walk where it was just you and your thoughts. No distractions, no noise. Just you, your steps, and your own company. Now, why is this important? Because in those moments, you're not just moving forward physically, you're growing mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And that, my friends, is the beginning of transformation. You see, in life, there are times when you will have to walk alone. Not because no one cares, not because no one believes in you, but because your journey is uniquely yours. And if you learn to embrace those moments, they will shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more powerful than you ever imagined. So let's talk about 4 powerful lessons you gain when you choose to walk alone. There comes a time in life when you have to step away from the crowd, not because you don't value the company of others, but because you need to hear yourself think. Too many people spend their days being pulled in 100 different directions, answering to the demands of the world, reacting to every opinion, every expectation, every piece of noise that surrounds them. And if you're not careful, you'll wake up one day realizing that you've been living a life designed by others instead of a life that's truly yours. But when you walk alone, something powerful happens. The noise begins to fade, and for the first time you can hear what really matters, your own voice. Walking alone is an act of clarity. It gives you the chance to pause, to take a deep breath, and to ask yourself the real questions. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? Where am I going? And most importantly, is this the path I want to be on? You see, purpose doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It doesn't arrive in the mail with a note saying, here's what you're meant to do. No, purpose is uncovered. It's discovered in moments of solitude, in moments when you step away from the distractions and take a real, honest look at yourself and your life. Most people never do that. They keep running on autopilot, following routines, chasing expectations, keeping up with the pace of the world without ever stopping to ask if this is the life they truly want. But when you take that walk alone, you start to peel back the layers. You begin to see what's truly important, what excites you, what drives you. And here's the key. Your path doesn't have to look like anyone else's. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they need approval, that their goals need to be validated by someone else. But the truth is, no one else has to understand your vision. It's yours and yours alone. Some of the greatest minds in history, the inventors, the pioneers, the game changers, walked alone long before the world ever recognized their greatness. They weren't waiting for permission. They weren't looking for someone to say, that's a great idea. They simply followed what they knew deep down to be right. And that's what walking alone teaches you. It teaches you that your dreams don't need an audience to be real. And let me tell you something. The moment you embrace that truth, your purpose becomes unshakable. You stop worrying about what others think because you know exactly what you're working toward. You stop seeking validation because you've already given yourself permission to pursue what matters to you. That's power, that's freedom, and that's what separates those who live with purpose from those who simply drift through life. So if you ever feel lost, unsure, or uncertain about your direction, take a walk alone. Step away from the noise, from the expectations, and listen, because in that silence, you'll find exactly what you've been looking for. The strength isn't built in comfort. It's built in moments of struggle and times when you have no one to lean on but yourself. Life will test you. It will throw challenges your way that you never saw coming. Setbacks, disappointments, heartbreaks, failures. And when those moments arrive, the question isn't whether they'll happen. The question is, will you have the strength to keep going? Most people think strength is about how much you can endure in front of others, but real strength is built in solitude. It's in the moments when you walk alone, when no one is watching, when no one is there to tell you to keep moving. That's when you find out what you're really made of. Walking alone is more than just a physical act. It's a declaration that says, I can stand on my own. It's easy to rely on the energy of a group, to draw motivation from others, to feel strong when you're surrounded by people. But what happens when they're gone? What happens when you have to face life's toughest moments alone? That's when resilience is tested. And the beauty of walking alone is that it teaches you step by step that you are capable. You don't need an audience to be strong. You don't need validation to keep going. Every step you take by yourself is proof that you have what it takes to move forward, no matter how tough the road gets. Think about the times in your life when you faced a challenge and had no choice but to figure it out on your own. Maybe it was a failure that left you questioning your abilities. Maybe it was a personal loss that left you feeling empty. Maybe it was a moment of self-doubt so deep that you didn't know if you could keep going. And yet, here you are. You survived. You pushed through. You walked forward, even when the path felt uncertain. That's resilience. That's the strength that walking alone builds. And let me tell you, the people who develop that kind of strength, the kind that doesn't rely on external motivation, the kind that keeps moving even when no one is watching, those are the people who succeed. Because life isn't always going to hand you encouragement. There won't always be someone cheering you on. Some days it'll just be you. And in those moments, you have to know that you are enough. You have to trust that you have everything inside you to take that next step, even when the road ahead looks tough. Walking alone doesn't mean shutting people out. It doesn't mean rejecting help when it's needed. What it does mean is that you learn to stand tall on your own, that no matter who comes or goes, you are still capable, still moving forward, still strong. And when you realize that, when you embrace that truth, you stop fearing solitude. You start seeing it as an opportunity to build the kind of strength that no challenge, no setback, and no failure can ever take away from you. Life is unpredictable. No matter how much you plan, no matter how well you prepare, unexpected challenges will come your way. The question isn't whether life will test you. The question is, will you be ready? Most people go through life reacting to whatever happens to them. They wait until problems arise before they start thinking about solutions. They wait until they're in the middle of a crisis before they start looking for strength. But the ones who truly succeed, the ones who thrive, even in difficult times, are the ones who prepare themselves long before the storm arrives. And walking alone is one of the greatest forms of preparation. When you walk alone, you train yourself to think independently. You make decisions without looking for approval. You sharpen your ability to trust yourself, to rely on your own instincts, and that's a skill most people never develop because they spend their lives surrounded by distractions. They get used to asking for opinions, waiting for advice, hesitating until someone else gives them the confidence to move forward. But the real world doesn't always give you that luxury. There will be moments when you have to act, when you have to decide, when you have to move forward with nothing but your own judgment. And if you've never trained yourself to think clearly in solitude, those moments will overwhelm you. Walking alone is like a rehearsal for life's biggest challenges. Every step is a test of discipline, a test of focus. It forces you to be present, to be aware, to pay attention to the thoughts running through your mind. It teaches you how to process your emotions instead of running from them. It gives you space to reflect, to plan, to mentally prepare for what's ahead. And when you develop that habit, you become unshakable. You stop second-guessing yourself because you've already spent time thinking through your path. You stop fearing uncertainty because you've trained yourself to stay calm in the unknown. You stop waiting for the perfect moment because you've realized that preparation is not about perfection, it's about readiness. And here's the truth. Life will always be unpredictable. There will always be moments that catch you off guard, decisions that feel impossible, challenges that push you to your limits. But when you've spent time walking alone, preparing yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, those moments don't break you. They don't shake your confidence. They don't make you hesitate because you've already trained for them. You've already built the strength to stand firm. You've already learned that no matter what happens, you have what it takes to keep moving forward. So don't underestimate the power of those solitary walks. They're not just about movement, they're about preparation. They're about building the kind of mindset that allows you to face anything life throws your way with confidence, with clarity, and with the unshakable belief that no matter what happens, you will find a way through, because you always have, and you always will. Courage isn't something you're born with, it's something you build, something you uncover within yourself, step by step, moment by moment. And one of the greatest ways to find that courage is by walking alone. Most people spend their lives surrounded by distractions, noise, opinions, endless streams of information. They never give themselves the space to truly listen to their own thoughts, to understand their own fears, to gain real clarity about who they are and what they want. But when you step away from all of that, when you walk alone with nothing but your own mind to guide you, something powerful happens. You begin to see yourself more clearly. You begin to recognize the strength within you that was always there, just waiting to be acknowledged. It takes courage to be alone with your thoughts. It takes courage to confront your doubts, your fears, the parts of yourself that you might have been avoiding. Most people never do that. They keep themselves busy, always moving, always distracted, because deep down they're afraid of what they might find if they